are live. We are live. What's up, everybody? Before we get started, we always have to make that announcement. Can you all hear me in the chat? Give me a second. I want to know, can y'all hear me in the chat? Press 1 if you can hear me. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're going to be getting into Jessie We're going to be talking about Sha'Carri Richardson. We're going to be getting into Bill Cosby. We're going to be talking about Claire Huxtable, a.k.a. Phylicia Rashad. And we got a lot to talk about with Viv. And then we got a lot to talk about with Lil' Kim. So if you all can hear me, press 1. Okay. All right. So, yes, y'all can hear me. So we good. We good. All right. So let us first start out with Lil' Kim. Okay. So apparently 50 Cent posted a picture of Lil' Kim. I forgot what the name of the animal that he posted the picture side by side. And so Lil' Kim responded to the post and she said this. Let me read what she wrote on her page. She wrote this on the Lil' Kim on her official page. She wrote she said, hilarious. I ain't bothered not one bit. My family and friends more mad than me. Shit like this don't move me one way or the other because I'm still a bad bitch. The niggas, bitches, mamas, daughters, and aunties still want to be till this day, and I love it. And she added 50 Cent. She said, at 50 Cent, I see you selling your feelings about the dinner date you asked me out that I had to turn down. Let it go. You have a beautiful girlfriend. I have a loving husband. Let it go. And for those of you coming at my husband, Mr. Papers, you did real ninja shit. What a husband is supposed to do. All y'all can go to hell, not respectfully. 50 Cent, I addressed that situation all in my book coming in November. Make sure you go get it. Pre-orders available now. Be blessed, everyone, and stay positive. So she responded to 50 Cent. Now she did look like the animal on there. She definitely did look like that animal that 50 Cent wrote, because she had the little bang on her head. She looked just like it. So I'm just gonna be real with you on that. But I didn't know that 50 Cent asked Lil' Kim out for a date. Didn't know that. So that was like some news on there, and then she had turned him down. So shout out to Lil' Kim. Shout out to 50 Cent for his support, for just putting it out there, promoting his show. Now, one of his shows got canceled on ABC. And so now it's going to be on the IBMB network. So for life, that's one of my favorite shows. So he had put the caption, that's a picture of Lil' Kim as well as animals side by side. And the caption was, let me see what the caption did he put on his on his Instagram page. Let me go to it. On the caption, okay, did he delete it? I think, yeah, he deleted the post. He had deleted the post. The post is deleted. So I guess he had got the backlash from the Lil' Kim fans, and he deleted the post. So shout out to him. I should have screenshotted it. So we didn't know that Lil' Kim and that 50 Cent asked Lil' Kim out for a date. That was some tea right there. But you got two cancers being petty. Y'all let me know in the comments how y'all feel about the situation. So y'all already know about Phylicia Rashad. Phylicia Rashad was in the news. Bill Cosby out of prison because the Pennsylvania State Supreme Court felt like they should have never pressed charges on Bill Cosby in the first place due to an agreement he had with the prosecutor. So Phylicia Rashad went on on her Twitter, and she said finally a miscarriage of justice was corrected. So a miscarriage of justice was corrected. So when she said that, she did not allow nobody to respond to her tweet. And she was getting a lot of backlash on her Twitter. Because when you go on her Twitter, you couldn't respond to the tweet. You actually have to quote the tweet itself so you could respond to it. And once she got this tremendous backlash on her social media, she took the tweet down off her Twitter account. And she put on this is a new tweet she wrote day before yesterday, I believe. Is she wrote, and it said, I fully support survivors of sexual assault coming forward. My post was in no way intended to be insensitive to the truth. Personally, I know from friends and family that such abuse has a lifelong residue effects. My heartfelt wish is for healing. So she wrote that. Then when you go to Howard University actually had a tweet that they wrote as well. Their statement was this: survivors of sexual assault will always be our priority. Dean Rashad has acknowledged in her follow-up tweet that victims must be heard and believed. Her initial tweet lacked sensitive towards survivors of sexual assault. Personal positions of university leadership do not respect Howard University policies. We will continue to advocate for survivors fully and support their rights to be heard. Howard will stand with survivors and challenge the system that denied them justice. We have full confidence that our faculty and school leadership will live up to that commitment. So they had came out, they kind of scored Phylicia Rashad. So all that was going on. Then it was, hold on, let me see if I can put her. Then Viv, y'all know Janet Herbert, she got up there and she had a lot of stuff to say. So I'm going to play that. Let me go to Instagram because she pretty much dragged Phylicia Rashad. Let me go to that right quick. Give me a second. I'm going to see because she dragged Phylicia Rashad. And she deserved to be dragged, even though I stand with Bill Cosby. It's just her tweets was just insensitive because of the university that she stand for. But this is what she had to say. Hold on one second.
Good morning, Instagram fam. Black Christiana Hubert here. Thank you for those of you who have been supporting my comment. And it's my right to comment, and it's your right to comment back at me. But for those of you who come into my box and saying things like, you having a comeback, well, I ain't having no comeback because I ain't been nowhere to be coming back from nowhere. And as far as somebody saying, you got your career back and let's cancel you again, child, please. You can't give me back 27 years. So you have the right to your opinion and I have the right to mine. So let's keep it like that, all right? Mr. Cosby should have been the person to make the statement and apologize to the people that he hurt. That would have been a wonderful thing to do if you got out of prison on a get out of jail pass. That's all I gotta say. Good morning, Instagram fam.
So she said that, and this is what she wrote, the tweet that she wrote. She said, quote, Phylicia, what are you thinking? I don't know you, but to say this was terribly wrong. Everyone knew that he was doing what he was doing back then. How could you not? Get your umbrella, sister. Here comes some ish shower. I'm outraged. He has been released. He is a old, guilty man. Then she wrote this. I would have said he's old, he's out, and I'm happy for him, but he's still guilty. I know 5 women who have not come forward. Enough. Y'all will know better. Powerful men do wrong things, black or white. Okay? And then that was the tweet that she responded to Phylicia Rashad when she said, finally, a terrible wrong is being righted. A miscarriage of justice is corrected. So the reason why I stand with Bill Cosby, because this particular one case, you could read in the 75-page opinion that we released on Patreon. So if you want to see that, you can go on our Patreon and you can definitely get all of the 75 decision and talk about Constant, about how she went back to Bill Cosby house, et cetera, et cetera. It's 75 pages. 79 pages. I am actually on page 19 because I was getting some sleep, catching up on some rest. I haven't read all the pages, but if you read those pages, you will get a clear picture that Bill Cosby was in fact innocent and he should have never been charged in the first place. It wasn't enough evidence. There wasn't enough physical evidence. And you can clearly see that accuser changed her story multiple times. So the reason why I say Phylicia Rashad should have went live, got on her Twitter and tweeted that is because she represents a university. And knowing that there's some women in the university that have been abused and you represent a historical black college, so it's just best not for good optics to talk about the case the way that Phylicia Rashad talked about it. She could have went privately and talked about it. That's what she could have did. She could have went privately and talked about the case, but going publicly and talked about it, that's the issue right then and there. So I'm definitely going to look at this verbatim, look at it in the history, and definitely talk about it. So we are definitely praying for the victims, like if it is really a victim. But in this particular case, I believe that she is guilty. This particular case, I don't believe that he's guilty. Let me get that all the way right. Now, with the other cases, I need to read the documents, read the court documents when it comes to other victims, if they have evidence. Then, of course, I'm going to read that. But this case that he got off on, that he was released from prison, I do not believe that he did anything wrong, okay? I do not believe that he did anything wrong on this case, okay? That's definitely what I believe, okay? All right, so we're going to go to the next topic here. Get them off the screen. Now, who else I'm going to go to? Okay, is it Shakari? Shakari? Is it Shakari? Y'all know who I'm talking. Shakari Richardson. I believe that's her name. She is one of the fastest runner ever. Pretty much, she broke records. But this sister, she failed her drug test when it came to she got tested to continue in the Olympics. They tested her, and she found out that she had THC in her system. So she was smoking some weed, and she was disqualified from continue to go to the Olympics. A lot of people was like, oh my gosh, it's just weed. Why is she getting in trouble? They should make it legal. It's legal in her state, but it's rules that you have to comply with when you are an athlete. So she did not comply with the rules. She did an interview with Today's Show, and of course, you had situations where give me 1 second. She had situations where, and I want to play the Today Show. Let me see if I can play a clip of the Today Show interview. Let me see.
Following that race, and this morning that has put.
Let me see.
Let me see. Tokyo Olympics that we've been following all morning, man.
Yeah, Shakari Richardson.
Oh, okay, Shakari. Okay, that's what it is. Shakari Richardson. So Shakari Richardson went on the Today Show, and she explained to us, she was really sad. She was like, oh my gosh, Shakari was like, oh my gosh, I lost my mom, and I'm only human, and I should have, I made a mistake. And I don't feel sorry for Shakira Richardson. Let me tell you why. Because she understands the rules, okay? You cannot be under the substance of weed and think you're going to represent the Olympic team. Now, until the rules change, that's when you work with legislators to try to change the rules when it comes to athletes. Then Shakira should have definitely did that. But I don't feel sorry for her at all. The reason why I don't feel sorry for her is because you understand the rules. You cannot smoke. It's unfair to all the other athletes that got kicked off, booed off for doing drugs. So she definitely did the drugs, the weed. It's a drug, and it's illegal to do when you're playing sports, even though it is legal in your actual state. She's is a cisgender woman, and she broke the rules. So a lot of people was making fun, talking about, and then some people was like, oh, this shouldn't be. Let me go to Sean King, because Sean King wrote something on his Instagram. Let me see if I can go and find his Instagram. This is what Sean King wrote on his Instagram. He wrote, he said, this shouldn't even be a thing. It's so stupid. Then when I went on Nick at Night Instagram, I saw on her Instagram, she wrote, we have to stop picking and choosing which black people we hold accountable. If you like them, then rules should bend around them. But if you don't, then you flip-flop. Clearly, okay? I want to read her caption. She said, this is what Nick at Night said inspires Shakira Richardson. She said this quote, when you do certain jobs, we know the rules regardless of what we are going through. In our community, y'all seem to think substance use is the only way to deal with trauma. It's not. There are other resources to deal with trauma, especially at the elite athletic level. It sucked that Shakira fumbled and whatnot, and I wish her the best in the future. But just because she lost her mom does not mean she is above the rules. Which she is going through is horrible. But we have to understand that Olympics are rules for the entire world, not just America. These are rules every person worldwide have to follow. Y'all speaking about because weed is legal in few states, rules should change for her, and forgetting these are the rules for the world that every athlete across the globe has to follow. Again, I wish her the best. Sucks for her legacy. Her being a good runner does not make her above worldwide rules. Her losing her mother is horrible, but still not an excuse to be above rules. We all go through something, and so are the others competing. Hopefully she can make it through and come out on top next time. And I 100% agree that just because Shakira Richardson went through a death, her mother died, does not excuse her to break the rules. Just because she's a black woman, it does not excuse her to break the rules. The rules stand for worldwide that you cannot consume any type of drugs, including weed. Okay? Those are the rules. So a lot of people were upset. And speaking about this woman, Shakira Richardson, she actually had said some things that was kind of homophobic. Okay, homophobic. All right. That was kind of anti same gender loving. She said this. She said, if you support Lil Nas X, you can unfollow me. Then she said, it was another, let me see, do I have other tweets here? Shout out to On Site. She said this. If you a N-word, you wear pink, and they crossed out a cuss word in a pit because you gay ASF. So they up there posting old tweets of her, of how she wasn't standing for the LGBTQ community. So they was definitely posting that as well. So they digging up her old tweets. Shout out to Nike. Nike came out with a statement. Let me see if I can find their statement, because Nike did come out with a statement because people were saying, will Shakira Richardson be dropped from Nike? Let me see if I can find that tweet. Give me 1 second. Let me see. Do we have that? Okay. Long story short, they're not going to release her from Nike. They're not going to drop her. They're going to continue her on Nike. So with that being said, she's still going to have her endorsement with Nike. They're not letting her go from Nike. So that's a good thing. So we want to say shout out to Shakira Richardson. And this is a learning experience. Don't do the drugs. Practice real good. Okay? And have that. So, and my thing is this, with her speaking against Lil Nas X and all this, she actually is LGBT herself. If I'm not mistaken, my research that the woman you see on the screen was actually LGBT herself. So I don't know why in the world would she speak against Lil Nas X, but you get a lot of people that is a part same gender loving community that as a woman speaks so negative of a man. So I'm going to say that again. With that entail, and so, but she's not transgender. People are saying that she's trans. She is a woman. She's not trans. She is a woman, and a cisgender woman, meaning that she is a biological woman. She's not trans. And I definitely would have cleared that up for the people that was putting it in there, because the people was inboxing me, asking me, is she trans? I'm like, no, but she has a girlfriend. You know what I'm saying? she has a girlfriend. So if you have a girlfriend, that means you are part of the community. That means you are part of the same community of Lil Nas X. Regardless, you can't be like, oh, well, if you follow Lil Nas X, unfollow me, but you got a whole girlfriend. I don't want to say that, but you get a lot of people that have girlfriends and have, you know what I'm saying? But when it comes to men, they speak so negative about a man being with another man. That do exist. That's why it's such a division between women and men in the community. That's a big division. So when she said that, when I Googled it, I'm like, her girlfriend. And I'm going to post a picture of her and her girlfriend on my Patreon. I'm like, how you talking all this mess when you have a whole girlfriend? Right then and there, she have a girlfriend. Okay. Woo. Chow. Wait a minute. All right. So I'm going to go ahead on and go to Bill Cosby. So Bill Cosby, y'all know the man is out of prison, but this is what he's got planned. He will be suing the state of Pennsylvania for illegally putting him in prison without, for violating his due process. Now, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, one of his team and one of his spokesmen said that Bill Cosby was on the phone with comedy club owners because allegedly he is planning out to go on a tour and to speak. He's going on a tour with himself, I guess, to speak about comedy. He's going to be doing some stuff. So he was on the phone with some comedy club owners. I was saying, I don't know how that's going to work because the protesters are going to be outside the comedy club. They're going to be calling the comedy club, talking about how you're going to have Bill Cosby performing for all the stuff that he did. So we shall see how this is going to turn out. If he do go to Dallas or if he go to Atlanta, I'm definitely going to attend because I think he's an incredible comedian. And I'm going to be nosy because I want to know what he's going to be talking about. So he's definitely going to be doing that. So ladies and gentlemen, Bill Cosby is on the phone and he's talking about doing a documentary as well. So we're going to see how that's going to turn out when it comes to Bill Cosby in this documentary he's working on, as well as Bill Cosby going on a tour. Definitely going to be interested in that, okay? All right. Let's go to our last topic of the day. All right, here we go. Here we go. Jessie Woo. Jessie Woo. I want to say something really quickly about Jessie Woo. I had the pleasure of listening to her music, and that woman can sing. I'm going to be 100% with you. No hater, nothing. Like, I listened to her music, and when I tell you this woman can sing, she was sending them high notes. So she was going on Tasha K's show, and I didn't know nothing about it. I'm like, who is this Jessie Woo? Who is this lady? So I go and I go to Apple Music, and I type in her name, and I was listening to some of her songs, and one particular song that I was liking, the name of it is Unattainable. Towards the end in this record, Unattainable, she hit a high note that made me fall out of my chair. This woman can sing, okay? So I just definitely want to say that right quick. The woman can sing. But we learned some things about Jessie Woo. We learned that Jessie Woo was born in Canada. We learned that that she had a strong Kojic background, the Church of God in Christ background, that her mother was a preacher as well as her dad. I think she said her dad got several degrees and speaks several languages. And she said she haven't seen her dad in years, and she finally met her dad in rehab, found out he was in rehab, and he was, for drug addiction. And she said she went ham in there because he wanted her to give him some money. And then we go scroll down. She said she lived in New York. She had 3 roommates. She recently got on Love and Wildin' Out. And she was talking to a lady in her church told her that she should definitely audition. She had a bad experience on Love and Hip. Not on Love and Hip Hop. Bad experience on Love and Hip Hop. I'm keep saying Love and Hip Hop. Bad experience on Wildin' Out, that they wasn't allowing her to talk, and they was talking about she don't look exotic. And I'm like, whoa. And she was like, okay. So we just speaking to all of this, and she said she experienced colorism. Then she said she had a FaceTime conversation with Nick Cannon. They talked, and then she said that, and then they was like, ain't Mariah Carey black? And I'm like, yeah, Mariah Carey black. I believe her father is black. I believe so. But they were talking about Mariah a little bit. She got invited to do Nick Cannon morning show, and she started breaking down. And she said it was a full circle moments, okay? They was talking about that. Also, producer Detail was, sexually assaulted Jessie Woo. When Tasha tried to get her to open up about it, she was just talking around in circles. She wasn't really giving us the tea. I'm like, what happened? Then she was crying, and then Tasha was like, go in the restroom, give her some tissue. And I'm looking at her just tear up, and I'm like, can we get to the facts on this? Can you tell us what happened? Because if you talking about it, talk about it all. And the only reason to heal from it is just give us the tea about the situation. So she really didn't give it. So what we found out little for what she said, that her friend left her and she was alone in this room, in this suite with these men. So I don't know if she was gang assaulted or one person assaulted her, but she did bring up the producer Detail. So we don't know. And I think he's in jail now for abusing women. So she was just tearing up. And then she talked about her defamation lawsuit she got with Karen Civil. And I couldn't really get into it because she was really throwing me out. It was really making me fall asleep because she was all over the place in her interview. And really, I was there to hear about the Cardi B stuff. So was she saying that with Cardi B, she made a video and she said somebody on Cardi B team told her that we're going to try to take down Nicki Minaj. And so Cardi B responded to her. And Cardi B had Lovely T to post some receipts and Official Ken Barbie to post some stuff. And they really was just trying to discredit, Jessie Woo. And she was like, why is she doing this? I didn't say nobody's name. Cardi B overreacted. Cardi B admitted that she had settled $11 million. And then Tasha K was like, why would you put that out there talking about you settled for $11 million? Shouldn't you talk about that? Is that like confidential? If you all do not remember, she sued her previous label or previous QSR, Shaq. Shaft, I'm sorry. She sued him, and obviously she had to pay him allegedly $11 million for breach of contract. So all of that was in this interview, and I really, really like Jessie Woo as a singer. She's not the best one to give interviews because she was beating around the bush and then she was trying to address Cardi. And the thing I want to say about Cardi B, and I say this humbly, Cardi, I've said this to her friend, I said it to her friend, Schemo, and I'm going to say it today. She do not understand the power that she have. When you go off on a rant, or when you tell somebody expose this person, you carry a lot of power. If you say, oh, Wiley ain't this, or this person, or Jessie Woo ain't this, or she's a liar and all this, and if you don't have all your facts together, they will definitely come after you. I remember when Cardi B had a beef with Caillou from the Neighborhood Talk. He's a former employee of a former editor of the Shade Room, went and started his own company, the Neighborhood Talk. But one of the reasons why he lost his job, Cardi B came out and said that Caillou was definitely dissing her, running a hate page, coming out to Cardi. And she was getting all this harassment. He was getting cussed out. He was getting dragged. The Shade Room didn't stand behind him because he was not a part of this hate group. But Cardi was making so much noise using her power, he eventually got fired from the Shade Room and he started his own company. So all this stuff is being said about how Cardi B is coming out being aggressive. But another person told me, they said, hey, I think they're doing this interview to try to take down Cardi B. So I said, okay, let me go and look at the receipt. So we look at the receipt here, that's not true, that with this interview with Jessie Woo, it just so happened that she interviewed Jessie Woo when she was in the news. But originally they came out, they talked about doing this interview back in April the 2nd. And if you go back, Chelsea is one of the employees of Tasha K, wrote this to Tasha K on April the 2nd and said, can we do 2 Florida interviews? She was like, who? Jessie Woo from Love and Hip Hop, Miami, sexually assaulted by a music producer, sings very well, comedian, beefing with somebody, Amari, and she's on Twitter telling people Tasha K needs to interview Cameron Samuels next. So that interview was already planned all the way back on April the 2nd. So this wasn't where they was planning it July 2nd or they was planning July 1st or something like that. No, this actually was talked about way back in April. But of course the public and public opinion, of course the blogs, they're going to say, hey, she's doing it to take down Cardi. But let's be clear, Tasha K do not like Cardi, period, point blank. So of course she's going to interview somebody that is anti-Cardi. If that was somebody who was anti-Nicki, I don't think Tasha K will interview somebody that is anti-Nicki Minaj, that is so critical of Nicki Minaj, and that will say, hey, Nicki is trying to take down Cardi and all this. I don't think they would get an interview. Or if somebody want to talk about Nicki Minaj's husband, I don't think Tasha K would pick up the interview, humbly, in my humble opinion. But was this particular interview trying to take down Cardi B? That could be debatable, because Jessie Woo was saying all these things about Cardi, and she was putting this narrative out that Cardi B was trying to take down Nicki Minaj. So in return, Jessie Woo, are you trying to build your career up trying to take down Cardi? I leave that up to the audience. I know how I felt from it. It felt like Jessie Woo was a little clout chasing. You know what I'm saying? And she want people to talk about her and want people to bring her back up to the forefront, and she wants some streams for her music business. That's how I look at it. Whether she's trying to take down Cardi B or not, Sister Girl is trying to get some clout. Well, ain't nobody really been looking at her music like that. Now I listen to her music. You know, she haven't had no number one hits. You know what I'm saying? She haven't had no number one album. The woman can definitely sing, but I personally believe she came after Cardi because she knew Cardi was going to respond, and that's going to in return make her trend, make her get streams, make her get likes, make her get more of a buzz. And me personally, that's how I feel about that. All right, so we're gonna open the phone lines if anybody want to call in. So give me a sec. We'll open the phone lines and see what do y'all want to say about that. We definitely gonna open up the phone lines. Okay. All right. And so definitely. All right. So they did talk about the knot on her forehead. They brought it up. So it was definitely felt like they were trying to go against, Cardi B a little bit. It felt like it. That's how I receive it. Yeah, if I'm wrong, you know what I'm saying? Y'all can let me know. Because they did brought up the knot on the forehead. They definitely brought up the knot on the forehead. I'm like, is this a way to take down Cardi? But the thing with Cardi B is you give the people that don't like you, like the Tashas, like the Jessie Rules, ammunition to come at you when you, in fact, being sloppy and going to the blogs instead of annoying it. If you start annoying people, they will leave you alone. They will not bother you. They don't hardly bother Beyonce. They bother me. What was that? One of the artists in Miami, what's the guy's name? Talking about Beyonce couldn't sing. Now you don't hardly hear from him no more because Beyonce don't respond. Okay, definitely don't respond. So do I believe that Beyonce, when she go through mess, she don't respond to it? But Cardi is one of those type of people. She's going to respond to it. Regardless, she's gonna respond to it. She was talking about, oh my gosh, you messed up my day. You did all this. I'm like, okay, why are you responding to these people? You got more money than these people. You got more followers than these people. You are a major A-list celebrity. You're the top not R&B rapper in the game. You are up there. You have almost at the level of Nicki Minaj. When they discuss top rappers today, you are in the conversation. You're up there with Nicki. Y'all on the same level. You're getting around the same sales, around the same streams that Nicki Minaj is getting. So why are you responding to the Jessie Rules, knowing that one of your people that do not like you will be on Tasha K's show? It's period. That ain't nothing to me to brag about. That ain't nothing to me to say. It's just facts. Because she didn't go on no other platform. She made sure that the interview, she did the interview and she mentioned and brought up Cardi. And we rarely get to know about your new album, when you got a new project coming out. You know what I'm saying? You didn't tell the people to go stream your music. You were so involved with trying to speak about Cardi.
Your show now, press 1
you inserted Nicki Minaj.
Your show is scheduled to start in 32 seconds.
That Cardi B and QSR was trying to take down Nicki. No evidence to prove that. You didn't bring up any evidence. Only thing you just brought up, you running your mouth, and then you shock when people repost what you say. That's what I don't understand. So give me a second. We're going to open up the phone lines. 646-716-8447.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, let me remove Jessie Rule picture.
Blog Talk Radio.
All right, we're going to open up the phone lines. If you are available to call in, the number is 646-716-8447. All right, so that is the number. If you're definitely calling in, that is the number. Hold on one second. I was supposed to have an interview with somebody, so let me see. Is they available? Give me a second. All right, that's the number, 646-716-8447. All right, so if you're calling in, that is the number. Okay. All right, let's go to our first caller. All right. Okay. Anonymous, you live on the air?
Hi, Wiley.
Hi.
Yeah, so for me, I want to speak on Shakira Richardson. I know you say you don't feel bad for her, but I do.
Okay.
I feel bad for her.
Tell us why.
I knew she knew the rules and everything, but to make it, like, she graduated college. She didn't graduate. She dropped out of college, went pro. You've been training all this time. You finally made it to the point where you can run in the Olympics, and now you can't run and you have to wait another 4 years to do it. Yes, I feel bad for her.
You say you feel bad. For me, I don't, and because you know the rules. I mean, why would you break the rules knowing that you could lose out on your opportunity?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, Wiley, and I know, but you still like feel a little, bad for her, even though she knew the rules and all of that. But still, just imagine if you were like in her shoes, you made it to this point where you finna run the race of your life, and it's snatched away from you because of one mistake that you made, and now you have to wait another 4 years to even run or even try to get back in it again.
So you're
that's why.
Mm-hmm. Well, again, she should have known all of that. Why smoke weed? Me personally, it's a worldwide rule. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, America needs to change the rule," but no. When you're in the Olympics, you are on a worldwide stage. This is not just America. This is not just the United States. This is a worldwide topic.
So you don't feel any empathy or anything for her?
No, I don't. Because there's plenty athletes that broke the rules, and if we give her a pass, then what about all those other athletes that got, disqualified because of substances? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I'm saying, not to say that to give her a pass to run. I'm just saying I just feel bad for her. She made it to this point, and now she can't, do something that was her dream, and she was so happy. She ran to her grandma, and it seemed like she probably feeling like she let everybody down. You don't know. That's why I feel empathy for her. But for you to say you don't even feel no type of way, I'm like,
I don't, because you broke the rules. You don't supposed to be smoking, and if the rules say don't smoke, don't smoke. You have to handle your trauma another kind of way. Go to a therapist. Drink plenty of water. Get into focus on, go to the gym, but go get high and break that rule. That's on you.
Yeah, and I know some people are asking, like, is it 4 years or 30 days? She's suspended for 30 days, but I'm saying that the Olympics isn't until another 4 years. So if she don't run into with the Olympics this year, she has to wait another 4 years until she can again. That's what I was saying for that. But off of that subject, Phylicia Rashad, I just feel like she should have what she put on her Twitter or whatever. I feel like she should have left it up because that's how she felt. Don't try to change it because you get backlash. If that's how you feel, leave it up.
You're right about that.
Yeah, like, don't be trying to change or don't try to backtrack now. Just stand on what you stand on. You said that's how you felt, so you should have left it up there and just took all the heat. And I would have undid the comment so everybody could comment on it. And just, you don't have to look at them, but allow people to comment on it. And I don't know nothing about Jessie Wu, but Jessie Wu is very pretty. She's very cute. But I don't know anything about that situation.
All
so
right.
That's
well,
all
thank
I
you
had
so
to
much.
say.
Okay, the number is 646-716-8447. All right. So I do send my condolences because she did say she lost her mother. I do send my condolences for that, definitely. If you want to feel sorry for that's the part I do feel sorry. But her, smoking weed, getting high, and knowing that she's about to be on a world stage, I don't feel sorry for that because she should have, ate some ice cream, drunk up some coffee, and not consume any THC because, again, you have to follow the rules. 0899, call you on the air.
Hello, how are you, Wiley?
I'm doing good.
Okay, this is Queen Tulsa. I got this to say. I feel like Sha'Carri, we all need to be a little sensitive, I still have my mom. I don't know what the feeling of losing your mom is, but I can only imagine. However, yes, we knew that she was in the Olympics, but shit happens. I'd rather her smoke some weed than be out there just messed up on alcohol or any other hurtful type of substance. As far as Bill Cosby, welcome home, Bill Cosby. And his co-stars, it's okay to have a difference in opinion. He's home, and I feel like Auntie should have left her tweet up because I'm with her. He's out. It got overturned. No matter how it was put, it got overturned. We don't see that often. This man is 80-some years old up in prison. He didn't even need to be in jail from the first place. So that's all I have.
All right.
That's all I have.
Thank you so very much for calling in. Okay, so
thank you for having me.
Thank you. Okay, 4847, call you on the air.
Hey, Wiley. How are you?
Doing all right.
Good. I think in regards to what the last caller said, I mean, first of all, you can't put yourself in someone else's shoes when they lose a parent. However, you can envision yourself losing a parent. I think in terms of this Richardson lady, I think that she definitely did turn to something to cope with the loss of her mother. I listened to the interview. I'm not sure if you played it or not, Wiley, but the girl does get an opportunity, I guess, within the next 30 days, which I think the Olympics starts, in August the 8th or so, to actually be retested. But based on her interview, it sounded as if she didn't want to do it. Like she just, wanted to try again in 4 years. So it sounds like that she's going through a lot, being that her mom passed within a week of the week after, I think, of the tryouts. So, everybody knows what the repercussions are when you make decisions, especially with her being 21 years old. I do my condolences to her mother and everything, but I'm sorry, to her family, but, that's the consequences for any decision that you make. As far as Bill Cosby is concerned, he got out on a technicality. It wasn't that he is fully innocent of. No,
he didn't get out on a technicality. He got out because they didn't supposed to press charges on him, period. He's innocent. The court said they press charges on him. He had a deal. So it ain't a technicality. No charges should have been brought against him in the first place. It was a.
Okay. So I'm talking about, when I say a technicality, I'm talking about in terms of the plea deal that he made prior to going to trial, which he should not have went to trial. So yes, but that doesn't erase the fact that he did have victims, is what I'm saying.
Which victims, though? What evidence of which victims?
Well, he admitted himself.
He had admitted.
They interviewed him.
He had admitted. He said, "Did you offer them Quaaludes?" Yes. Did you sneak them Quaaludes? He said no. He offered Quaaludes. That was the question. We're going to break this down some more because obviously some people do not have all the facts. The way how the media put it out that he snuck some Quaaludes in their drink, no. He offered to them and they took it. That's what he said in his deposition. Mm-hmm. But the media was putting it that he snuck it in their drink and all that. And no, that's not what he said in his deposition.
Okay. Well, I'm speaking prematurely on that, so I'm just going to leave that to your to what you said, and I recant what I said about that. I'll have to look at it myself and do more research, but that's about it.
Okay, thank you so much for calling in. All right, so the number is 646-716-8447. All right, here we go. 5840. You live on the air.
Hey, Wally, I 1,000% agree with you with Sha'Carri Richardson. I believe that she knew what she was doing. It doesn't matter if you had a loss in the family and you're mourning. This is the big part of your career that you're going to go to Tokyo, and you're the highlight of the USA. So my thing is, I want to know who was around her Was she smoking by herself? Did she eat an edible by herself? Was there friends around her? Because if she was with people, they should have been like, no, don't do that because this could cause your gold medal. You know what I'm saying? Because once again, it is random that they test the players, correct? It's random.
Facts.
So did someone set her up? Did someone alert them to test her? Because, you know, it could be jealous and envy around.
Well, again, like you said, obviously when she broke the rules, you know you're going to be tested randomly. If you win, you know they're going to test you. You black, so you should know these things. I don't feel sorry for it because if we put a pass for her, then everybody that got off teams because of failing a drug test or whatever should get a pass as well.
Absolutely. And just because you qualified to go to the Olympics, to Tokyo, that doesn't give you a pass to start smoking because they could still test you at any given moment.
Facts. Absolutely.
Before you get there.
You're right.
That's all I wanted to touch in and talk about.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much for calling in. Okay. The number is 646-716-8447. That is the number. Anonymous, you live on the air. Anonymous, you live on the air. All right. Going to the next caller. You got to make sure you be by your phone. We're going to the callers. Anonymous, you live on the air.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, Wiley. You know who this is already.
So all right.
But yeah, I'm calling to speak about the track star. I don't know her name, but you know who I'm talking about. You just talked about her.
Yeah, go ahead.
I feel like the woman athlete is under attack. I get the rules are the rules, and we have to follow the rules. But in this case, maybe there should have been like an exception because she was under distress. So I'm not going to, fault her for that. I am kind of happy that, they are letting her participate in the relays. So, she still has her chance. And so good for her. As far as Aunt Viv goes at Phylicia Rashad, my thing is, like I said, you guys have to speak up. Why y'all want to wait till now to open your mouth? This industry is very foul, and slowly but surely things are coming to the light. We know Bill Cosby probably alleged different things, but at the end of the day, I do agree the law is the law, and, it worked for him this time. So there's nothing we can do about that. If we want laws changed, you know what you got to do. Get out and go and vote for the lawmakers to work in your favor. But
all right.
So that's all I'm saying, But I just wanted to call in and just voice my opinion on those topics.
All right. Thank you so very much.
Okay.
Bye-bye. Okay. The number is 646-716-8447, 1753. You live on air.
Hi, Wiley. How are you? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yes, I'm just calling just to give my piece on Sha'Carri Richardson. I do empathize with her about losing a parent. It's never easy. However, I do feel like she should be held accountable, right? Because in Michael Phelps' case in 2008, he got suspended after the Olympics trial, and that picture resurfaced after the 2008 Olympics, and he ended up losing his Kellogg deal. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not surprised that, she got suspended for 30 days and stuff like that. I feel like she knew better. And I'm not going to say she didn't really care. I'm just saying that, she had an opportunity and she didn't use it wisely. So hopefully this will be a lesson and she'll be able to, learn from this. As far as her homophobic tweets, one thing I really hate about certain people from the LGBTQ community is that I feel like sometimes they feel like they're above. Like people who are lesbians kind of like, I'm not going to say look down, but they feel like it's more acceptable for them to be how they are, but not acceptable for men to be how they are. So it was very problematic that she even made tweets about Lil Nas X when her and Lil Nas X, it's like the pot calling the kettle black.
So
Facts.
That's all I want to say.
Yes.
You know what I mean? I'm like, what's the difference about, okay, well, unfollow me if you follow Lil Nas X, but you have a whole girlfriend who pick your hair color for the race. So it's just, you know what I'm saying? It makes no sense. According to Bill Cosby, I'm really happy that he's out. Remember, when it comes to, I'm not going to say effective offenders or anything like that, but when it comes to things of that nature, you're going to have people who stand on, the victim side, if there are victims, allegedly, and you can have people who stand on the other side. I don't think any of them were wrong. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and that's just what it is on that. I did watch the Jessie Wu interview, and I wasn't really excited by it. I felt like she was kind of bland, like unseasoned chicken. She was always hopping around different questions, and I didn't really enjoy it. She does have a nice voice, but that's about it. And I wish her all the best. So that's all I have to say about that. And enjoy the rest of your night, Wiley.
All right, thank you so very much. Okay, the number is 646-716-8447. We're going to go to the next caller. 9062, caller, you're on air.
Hey, Wiley, this is Deborah Mitchell.
Hi.
So I just wanted to make a comment on Sha'Carri Richard, whatever her last name is. Sha'Carri. She's not transgender. There's a few people in the chat that are saying she's transgender. I think they're getting her conflated with this other person named CC Telfer, who's a transgender woman who has been ineligible to compete in the Olympic trials. So I just want to clarify that Sha'Carri Richardson is not a transgender. There's nothing wrong with transgender, but I think it's wrong to misgender people if they're cisgender as well. If someone's cisgender, you don't call them transgender. So I think that's just inappropriate. And that's really all I wanted to say. Well, on Janet, I think she's kind of funny, but she's kind of annoying because I just don't see why her opinion matters in the situation with Phylicia Rashad. Okay, there's people who support Bill Cosby. There's people who don't support Bill Cosby. It is what it is. That's all I wanted to say. I mainly wanted to clear up the gendering issue.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for calling in. And she's not trans. She is a cisgender woman. And again, it is what it is. And some people are still say, I don't believe it. But those are the facts. She's not a trans woman.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you. I'll be back in the chat. Bye.
All right. Thank you. Okay. We're going to go to the next caller. 1137. Caller, you on air.
Hey, Wiley.
Hey.
Rhonda Love Life. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
Good. Listen, first topic, I think Phylicia Rashad, I am crazy about her, but I think going out on a limb for Bill Cosby, if she can handle the blowback, I'm sure she's fine because she has been in the game a long time, and I'm sure she's financially set. And she's in her 70s, so she's probably like, that's my friend. I'm going to speak my mind, point blank, So I think that Viv is just giving her opinion, but I think it's so risky for Phylicia to step out like that. But if she's financially secure and she's later in the game as far as her acting, she's probably like, this is my friend, and I'm going to support him. So I can kind of understand her a little bit. But if it was 20 years, 30 years before, I think that that would be very risky because she would lose jobs. She really would. Because, they're on Bill Cosby. You know that.
Facts. All right. Thank you.
You know that. One more thing. As far as the young girl that the track star, I think she made a big mistake. Oh, my God. Is that self-sabotage or what?
It is.
Because you cannot, you know the rules. They set the rules. And we're talking about the Olympics. This would have changed her life. I was so proud of her. And to do that, what kind of friends do she have that would bring marijuana around her?
Let's just say if it wasn't her friends, let's just say she went and got it herself.
Yeah, that's true. She went and sought it out. But you know what? We all make mistakes and we stumble. So she's, 21 years old, right?
21, yeah.
She's 20. Yeah, so she got a chance to she can come back in the next Olympics. She's okay. I just hope that she doesn't beat herself up about it. It's a lesson learned.
Absolutely. And definitely with that. And so she definitely have another chance. So she's still young. Thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you. Bye.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay, so the number is 646-716-8447. Anonymous, you live on the air.
Bill Cosby, he free alive. I don't know if I want to say.
All right, thank you so much for calling in. Anonymous, you live on the air.
Hi, Wiley. How are you?
All right.
The Jessie Wu interview, it was not that interesting. She was tiptoeing around a lot of the stuff that I guess she wanted to talk about. I didn't find it that interesting. So after the interview was completed, I'm glad that Cardi B did not respond to the interview, because you're right. Cardi B is the one. Once she responds, she gives things legs to crawl and walk all over the internet. So she needs to just kind of calm herself on that and not be responsive to every single thing. Now, I get why she did initially respond, but I'm glad that she did not respond after the interview came out, because as you can see, the interview really hasn't gained any traction. But had she would have responded, it would have gained more traction. The whole Phylicia Rashad and Aunt Viv, I stand with Phylicia Rashad. I don't see anything wrong with what she tweeted. I mean, at the end of the day, she knows the pros and the cons that can come along with it. If she was willing to risk it, I mean, why not? Because you have to stand for something or you're going to fall for everything. If she believed in Bill's innocence, she always stood by him. And so why would she not make a post in support of him if she feel like the system wronged him? I think that we as people got to start looking, you know, a little bit deeper and stuff. And just like you said, a lot of people is confused and they're saying that, oh, he's guilty, but no, he's not guilty. He did not confess to actually drugging and sexually assaulting women. He confessed to bringing it to the party, you know what I'm saying, and offering it to them. It was their choice whether or not they wanted to take it. And in actuality, he didn't even have to agree to that. He could have pled the fifth on that. His lawyers did not advise him correctly, which is what a lot of commentators are saying all over the news outlets.
The reason why he answered that, because he did not, he waived his plea to the fifth. He waived that because the prosecutor said, hey, we will not prosecute you in a criminal court. So his lawyer said, well, go ahead and talk because we got an agreement. So this is the question that they presented to Bill Cosby. This is his deposition. They asked him a question. This is a question that they asked Bill Cosby. Have you had sex with, and he answered yes. Did you ever give any of the young women the Quaaludes without their knowledge? That's the question that you've been directed to answer. His answer to that question was no. Okay, so a lot of people say that he said yes and stuff. They're not looking at the documents. They're just looking at people on the internet saying what they're saying. But go ahead.
Right, and then we're not going to act like if you don't go back and you research and you do your history, like as if it wasn't, you know, back in his days wasn't full of, you know, fun, sex, drugs, rock and roll, alcohol, like as if, you know, they wasn't doing it. Even Wendy Williams admitted to, you know, sniffing coke back in those days. So we're not going to act like as if, you know, bringing drugs to the party wasn't something that they was used to in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, or whatever time frame it was that they was, you know, doing all of those drugs, which at that point drugs was a big party scene for them. So, yeah, I stand in support of that, and, you know, I don't feel like as if he's guilty, so I'm glad that he's free. I hope that he threw the pants off of all of these media outlets. I hope he threw the pants off of the state of Pennsylvania for incarcerating him. And then I hope that he's even able to accomplish what he originally wanted to accomplish, which was to buy NBC or CBS, whichever one it was. The other thing about the whole Aunt Viv, I don't even know why she came out against Phylicia Rashad, but I guess that was a choice. I mean, I just think at some point, you know, black people got to start sticking together on certain things. Like, you don't have to come up against somebody for every single thing, you know. Like, we do too much to ourselves, but whatever, it is what it is. The whole Sha'Carri Richardson thing, I sympathize with her. You know what I'm saying? I don't know exactly what she was going through in that moment, but she's accepted responsibility for it. You know what I'm saying? They essentially suspended her. She has been disqualified for participating in the Olympics, running the race that, she came in first place in. It is what it is. It's just going to be a lesson that she's going to have to learn. I don't think that we should be bashing her. I don't think we should be tearing her apart. In regards to the whole LGBTQ, the tweets, what you were saying, I don't think her tweets was homophobic. I don't understand why, gay men or trans always feels anytime somebody says something is always homophobic. The tweet that she had said was back in March, where if you support Lil Nas X, unfollow me. That was when Lil Nas X dropped that demonic video where a lot of people had a lot of stuff to say, where he came up against Christianity and, he had this whole devil thing and stuff going on. So I don't think that there was anything homophobic about that tweet. The other tweet that she wrote was, if you a dude and you wear pink, that means you gay. That's something that straight women say to their men. So I don't think that has anything to do with being homophobic. That's something that women be saying, like, oh, you wear pink, oh, that means you gay, or, different things like that. That doesn't have anything to do with being homophobic. So I think, the LGBTQ community, particularly the men that's a part of the community, always find some type of offense to anything somebody says. That they usually say that is usually amongst their peers, but anytime somebody says something, it's always like as if it's something that's homophobic, when we've been talking like this for years. It's nothing that has changed. It's not something like as if we haven't been speaking like this. So I don't see anything about her. I don't know why the gay men and the trans is coming up against her for those tweets, because there's nothing homophobic about those tweets.
All right, thank you so much for calling in. Okay, we're going to go to the next caller. Anonymous, you live on the air.
Hey, Wiley.
Hey.
Wiley, I got just a couple of points to make. This is in regards to Bill Cosby and Phylicia Rashad, support of him. I got 2 girl buys. One is for Phylicia Rashad, girl buy. I got one for Lil' Kim, girl buy. The thing about it is, Phylicia Rashad, I don't know what, I loved her on the Cosby Show and everything she's done. She's a classy lady, respect all her projects, but she got this one wrong. Anytime Beverly Johnson, who was a well-known supermodel, a black woman, came and told her story about what Bill Cosby did to her, and she had no ulterior motive. She didn't need no money from him, or she didn't have to try and sue him because she was successful in her own right. So what would she gain to lie on this man, along with all the dozens of other women that came forward with claims? Yeah, some of them were probably under the influence of Quaaludes. That's what Bill Cosby did back in the day, in his day in the 70s. They would bring Quaaludes and take pills and stuff like that. But they had full knowledge that they was taking them. Not that they was being slipped in their drinks, like when Beverly Johnson told when he slipped the drug in her cappuccino, and the next thing you know, she was falling all out and damn near couldn't control her legs. Why would she lie about that? I just don't understand how people can be so blind when it comes to the truth. Aunt Viv was right to call Phylicia Rashad out on her shit. She had no business defending a known rapist, even though he wasn't found guilty in the court of law. All you got to do is look at what he said. He gave those women those drugs, and I don't believe all of them knew that they was being slipped those drugs. Beverly Johnson sure didn't know that she was being supplied with them drugs. And a lot of people want to call Janice Dickinson crazy, and because of her persona on the Top Model, when she was on there, they want to paint her as a character off of a TV show. But when she said that Bill Cosby raped her and took advantage of her in that hotel room in Reno, that was her truth. And why would people discount that? So I just think people got it all wrong when it comes to Bill Cosby and supporting this rapist who drugged women and took advantage of them. Got off on a technicality, not saying that he was guilty or innocent. That wasn't what that verdict of the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania said. It said that he was denied his due process of the law. It didn't say he was innocent of drugging and raping.
Regardless
women,
of whether
which is
innocent
what
or
he
not,
did.
he should have never been charged. Period.
Yeah, they should have never been charged. But in terms of morally,
and
what
the
he
prosecutor
did ethically,
said that the woman's story kept changing. And again, they didn't have enough forensic evidence. The lady waited a year. She kept going back and forth to Bill Cosby house, introduced her parents to Bill Cosby, and her story kept changing. That's the part that people are not talking about. They're not focusing on that. Why would she go?
But hold on, Wiley. I'm speaking specifically to Beverly Johnson.
I'm not speaking of whatever case today. I haven't read the Beverly Johnson case. I don't know if that ever went to court. I'm speaking about the case where he got out of prison on. That's what I'm speaking on. I can't speak on Beverly Johnson because that didn't even, I don't even, did that go to
Beverly
criminal?
Johnson,
Did he get
do your research. Beverly Johnson is a well-known.
Did he get any?
First super black
Again,
model.
I don't care how well known she is. Did he go to court? Did the DA press charges? Let me ask you a question. 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 Did it ever go to court? You can't go around there and push it on there. Did it go in the court of law? Not what she said. Did it go to court? Yes or no?
So Wiley and defend this man.
Because I can.
You can do that
because I can, and I just did. Thank you. We're going to the next caller. All right, 4429. Caller, you on air.
Why you hang up on the call?
Just that quick. Did it go to court? You got to answer my question. Anybody can say anything.
But listen, Wiley.
And I'm speaking about.
I understand what he's saying.
I understand what he's saying, but I'm speaking about in this case, in the deposition that Bill Cosby did, he did not say, I forcefully gave these people Quaaludes. I'm looking at the court documents. What we're not going to do is put what you learn from mainstream media.
About the women?
Go ahead.
How do you feel about the women? It's women and men that are victims of sexual abuse. And we always, sometimes, not we, people will hold the victim to such a hard standard of you should have came forth, you should have did this, you should have did that. But unless you've been sexually violated, you don't know how that feels to have to come forth. So those cases back in the day never came up. We don't know how those women process that, right? But like the guy was saying, they spoke their truth. We know what this case was about. Okay, that lady may have been lying. We don't know, whatever. But I think people are looking at him now with the side eye because the women did come forth and started speaking their truth for whatever reason. They felt stronger. They went to therapy. They processed it. But by people coming forth, even if they weren't able to go to court, it helps other women come forth when it does happen to them so they can go to court. So I don't care if he got off on a technicality. I don't care if he got off on a banana peel. I'm still giving him the side eye because these other women came with their truth, whether they went to court or not. I'm going to...
and who said they telling the truth, though? We have to get evidence. And what we're not going to do is... We can give him a side eye, but again, where's the evidence to prove up these side eyes?
Okay,
That's how I'm looking at it.
I'm going to always side, and I don't care what nobody say, I'm always going to give more leniency to a victim. Someone coming forth telling you that they have been, our word. Like that is hard, has to be hard as hell. You know what I'm saying? And first of all, don't even some people get accused of doing that. You know what I'm saying?
Because he haven't been convicted. But, nobody call him that because he have not been convicted of that. So again,
people don't get convicted.
Well, what I'm saying is,
people don't get convicted. Some people don't get convicted because the victim is too scared to come forward and say anything.
Well,
I don't deal with people that I just give, the side eye to him because, number one, it was more than one woman. Once one woman spoke out, the other one came forth. Now, just like children, women, men, I don't care who it is. If it's a victim that comes forth and speak their truth, then I will use my God-given senses to say, okay, I believe them or not, since it's no evidence coming through. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to listen to the victim, and I'm going to give, in this instance, I'm giving him the side eye, whether they went to court or not, because it's a lot of victims out here that do not go to court because whatever trauma they have experienced when they are abused in that way, that's what I want. Whether you go with him or not, that's what I want. And in your audience, that's what I want the people to understand.
All right. Thank you so very much for calling
Now,
in.
about the girl that lost her mother and was running, she may have said, okay, F it. She know the rules. You know, the Olympics is very, their rules are very strict. And she knew the rules, and she probably said, forget it. I need to grieve, and I'm going to let it all go. She might have said that.
All right. That was it?
Okay.
All right. I hear it. But again, you have to follow the rules. If you represent a worldwide brand, you have to definitely follow those rules. Okay, we down to 4 callers. 4756 caller, you on the air.
Greetings. I want to just say I commend Phylicia Rashad for her stance. I commend Judge Joe Brown for his interview with Mark Lamont Hill, schooling him. The black community, there is a boiling over taking place now. There are people in the black community are tired of the black freedom movement having been hijacked by the LGBTQ industrial complex, along with the Me Too feminist movement and the high echelons of the Black Lives Matter. There are people, these women who are angry with Phylicia Rashad for her comments ought to be consistent and be angry with the record companies, with the corporations that objectify black women, that still promote black women as sex objects, if you're going to be consistent. And so we have black people on the payroll of this industrial complex as academics on CNN, MSNBC, and they're pushing the agenda of another people, and they're serving as the police in our community on other people's interests. And people are tired of it. And all you got to do is read a lot of the comments from many of these YouTube videos, and people are supporting people like Judge Joe Brown. People looking for people to stand up against outside influence within the black community. So I applaud Phylicia Rashad. I wish Bill Cosby well. I look forward to attending any other acts that he has. Thank you so much, Mr. Wiley.
Thank you. All right. We got the people are calling in from across the country. Okay. Let's go to the next caller. 0597. You live on the air.
Yo, what's up, Wiley? I wanted to comment on the Bill Cosby situation. The last caller, he brought up the Mark Lamont Hill interview with Judge Joe Brown. And I think one of the things that I'm a little confused about when we talk about this Bill Cosby thing is how we put everything on the court of law. It's like, if he wasn't found guilty in the court of law, then it's like the man is innocent. The man is innocent. He never did nothing. He never did nothing wrong. He's innocent as Jesus Christ. Like, you know what I mean? And I don't think that's right, because like Mark Lamont Hill said in that interview, George Zimmerman was found guilty too. I mean, he found innocent too. So does that mean he didn't kill Trayvon Martin? Is everything about the court of law? Like, that's the part that kind of disturbs me a little bit, because I feel like Bill Cosby, he's not perfect. He did cheat on his wife for years. You know what I mean? Like, you know, sleeping with other women, whether he offered them Quaaludes or whatever, he was cheating on his wife. He's a fraud. He's a hypocrite. And plenty of people have spoke out about him, like Eddie Murphy and D.L. Hughley and all of them. I don't think all these people are lying on him. I mean, yeah, he's probably innocent. He probably didn't rape that woman in that case or whatever her name is, Constance, whatever. He's probably innocent in that particular situation, but I don't think he's a good person. That's just my opinion.
All right, thank you so very much for calling in. Okay, we're down to about 4, 5, 6 callers. All right, let's get to everybody. All right, 3197, call you on the air. 3197.
Hello?
Yeah, you live on the Wiley Show. Go ahead. Hello, 3197.
Oh, hi. Oh, I didn't. You know what? I didn't recognize my number. I'm sorry. Oh, I was just listening in about Bill Cosby, and I wanted to comment on the lady that was speaking earlier. And my thoughts is this: like, I do understand. Like, I feel like if anyone has been R-word, that person should be convicted. But my thing is that think about all the men who in the past where people have lied and said that someone did something and these men went to prison, spent their lives in prison. I think the men, I think it was like 9 of those guys that were like, they went to prison for raping this lady, and it was in, the court of public opinion or whatever. And, and here, these guys were in prison for like their lives, all of their lives. And it came out that it wasn't true. So, I mean, just because someone is well known, Beverly, I don't know her name or whatever, the model, I mean, what we should be encouraging victims is like, yeah, I do understand that, people don't always want to come forward, but we should be encouraging them to go, if you have been victimized, go to the hospital, go and get checked out, so that these people can be properly convicted. But, I mean, just because someone come out and says that this happens to them, we need to, the law is there for a reason. And we need to, make sure that they're proven guilty and not just, because someone says something, it's automatic that person is guilty and we're side-eyeing them and looking at them, weird without the proper evidence.
Facts. Without the proper evidence. Thank you so very much for calling in, and hope you subscribe to the show.
Definitely will.
All right. Bye-bye. Okay. 4600, calling on air.
Wally, didn't you say, it's Bianchi, didn't you say that he never should have went to trial?
Never. He had a deal with the prosecutor that they will not charge him criminally, that he would have to go and testify in a criminal court because he had a deal with the original prosecutor, right? And the reason why he didn't pick up the case in the first place and didn't want to take it to trial is because, number one, it wasn't enough evidence. Number two, the accuser kept changing her story. And that's why the prosecutor was like,
Absolutely.
Okay, let's take this to civil court. And you testify. Let you waive your Fifth Amendment right. You go and testify in this deposition, and we will not prosecute you criminally. And that was the deal that he had with the prosecutor.
And that's what the Supreme Court brought up on his appeal, which he was utilizing his due process as spelled out by the United States Constitution in the 14th Amendment. In this particular case, his procedure due process, which he was not afforded. So all the things that come before that and even after that is nothing more than hearsay. People allowed to believe, people allowed to propose hearsay as much as they want to. The man the deal or the contract between him and his prosecutor was not upheld. And here's a funny thing. I can name a lot of people. James Brown in his sexual contact and physical abuse of Tammy Terrell. David Ruffin in his physical abuse of Tammy Terrell. Your founder of Kwanzaa, his torturing of black women. Well, we going to throw that away? Are they going to stop celebrating that? I don't think so. It's pick and choose what comes to your best appetite, as usual. Thank you very much, Wally.
All right. Thank you, brother, for calling in. All right. Thank you, brother. Anonymous, you live on the air.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment on the callers before last when they were speaking about the Mark Lamont Hill and the Judge Joe Brown. The analogy that Mark Lamont Hill had gave to Joe Brown regarding George Zimmerman was an asinine type of analogy because George Zimmerman, we heard the audio, George Zimmerman murdering and killing Trayvon Martin. As far as with these women and these women is concerned, there was not enough evidence, for one, as you stated, for them to even prosecute Bill Cosby. For two, he only admitted to bringing the drugs to the party, not drugging anyone. So it's two completely different situations where when we say that somebody is not guilty, where they're really not guilty. We know George Zimmerman is guilty. We do not know that Bill Cosby is guilty of anything because, for one, these women kept changing their stories. For two, Janet Dickinson admitted to lying about bringing these allegations against Bill Cosby because she was trying to push her documentary. So we really need to start doing our real thorough, full research before we start pushing stuff on our people. I do not believe Bill Cosby is guilty. As far as women, when women are sexually assaulted or AR'd or raped or whatever you want to call it, it is important that they report that immediately. Whether they decide they want to pursue charges or not, it's important that they get that documented, that they were sexually assaulted, because just as unfair it is to them and their family, it is also unfair to the accuser and their family to wait several years later for them to prove their guilt or their innocence on the allegations that's being brought forth against them. So we can't just always say it takes a woman all of this time and have so much sympathy towards a woman, because we know that women do lie. We also have to say, listen, there has to be some type of time constraint that is put in place into law, because, you can be with somebody and they could be mad at you, and then they could decide that they want to come forth years later and say that you did something to them. Let's take an instance with this whole Nia and Soulja Boy, right? Nia decided to stay with Soulja Boy for however long. He was abusive to her. She knew he was abusive. She kept going back. At what point are we going to start making and holding women accountable for their actions also? If you keep going back, just like these women in Bill Cosby case, they kept going back for the drugs, they kept going back for the parties, they kept going back for the sex, they kept going back for the money. A lot of these women do things to get pushed forward in certain positions, right? Because they want to elevate, they want to get in certain spaces. They want this acting career. They want these certain careers. So if you choose to participate with it just to get ahead in life, how do you want us to feel sympathy for you? Because you could have easily walked away from that job and say, no, you did something wrong to me, you violated me, and I'm going forward and I'm pressing charges, not wait decades later after you've gotten what you wanted out of the deal.
All right. Thank you so very much for calling back in. Okay.
Oh, wow. You put R. Kelly so.
Okay. I'll see you later. Okay. All right. 9981, call you on the air. 9981.
Yes, I would just like to say you're doing a great job, and to the other callers, you need to respect Wiley when you're calling in. Now, what I wanted to say was towards the Cosby situation, I really do think it was a conspiracy with that, not saying that he didn't do it or he did do it, but what I'm saying is it's because he was a person who came in on television, in a lot of black people's homes, and I understand it was just basically a show, but I feel like he was showing us or giving a reputation that, like, a way that we're supposed to live as husband or wife, or when you're living with your man and your girlfriend, or how a black household is supposed to be. So I think, that's one of the reasons why, the higher ups was probably mad at him. And that's just what I wanted to say with that. And I do respect Phylicia Rashad, because she came a long way. And I respect her opinion, and it's possible maybe Bill Cosby just interacted with her in different ways, like he really did respect her. So this is why he never saw the other side. But I'm with her, and I'm happy that Bill is out, and that's what I wanted to say. And I want you to have a great day, Wiley.
Thank you. All right, thank you everybody for so much for y'all calling in tonight. That was really, really great. Also, too, we have reached, I believe, last night, we reached 20,000 subscribers. I want to say thank you to all the producers, for the new producers, for making that happen. 20,000 subscribers that we have reached. And I want to say thank you for y'all support. That have been definitely great. 20,000 subscribers that we have reached. And I want to say thank you, producers, for supporting us, for getting us to this moment. When we started, I remember our time, we were trying to get to 1,000 subscribers and trying to be monetized. And now we're at 20,000. And I just personally want to thank you. We're on our goal. We're on our road to getting to 100K and beyond. So we want to personally thank each and every producer for y'all love, for y'all support. Thank you to the graphic designers. Thank you to the moderators. Thank you to the people that write our posts and will post it on there. I want to personally thank that sister as well. And I'm happy. I wasn't expecting it. I looked at it and they said, "Oh my gosh, you reached 20,000 subscribers." I'm like, really? So we're on the road to even bigger and better things. So I want to say thank you so very much for that. All right. Thank you so much, callers. So y'all calling in. It was a lot of y'all that called in. We got all the phone calls in there. And thank you. Now we're going to be on our goal to 100K, and we're going to definitely put that work in. All right. Thank you, and y'all have a wonderful night. Shout out. Go to our Instagram at Wiley Show, our Twitter, Wiley Show. Subscribe today to that. And you can also follow us on Twitch, The Wiley Show. Thank you.